The Enchanted Forest, Nala and Zira by Columbia Lego. Episode 1, The Beginning. The story begins in a 20th century England. Deep in a forest, there was a tree house which is owned by a kind old lioness. One day, her niece, a lion cub named Maria, visits the old lioness. Maria sadly tells her that she argues with her brother, Rocky, in the Pride Lands. Soon, the old lioness cheers Maria up by telling the story of two famous heroines. In a flashback, 25 years ago, the cub Nala encounters a teenage lioness outside Pride Rock. Her name is Zira. However, Nala and Zira became best friends. For years, the Enchanted Forest was ruled by the fox family. As she grew, Nala, a young lioness, performs "I Am Not That Girl." That evening, Nala saw Jack the Fox in danger. He was kidnapped by Zira. She had survived her last battle with Nala. After Jack escaped, Nala and Zira both began a fight to the finish. Episode 2, The Snail. Nala and Zira battled each other on a hill. Soon, Nala chased Zira to the jungle, but Nala accidentally fell into a jungle pool. When Zira saw what happened, she dived away and she rescued the young lioness. When the two queens relaxed in the jungle, Nala lay down in tears. She sadly told Zira about Simba's fate. Nala and Zira embraced. The next day, Jack the Fox and the lionesses ride on Thomas the Tank Engine. Along the way, Jack befriended a snail. He called him Speedy. Meanwhile, the gang arrived in France. There, Speedy was captured by a human named Quint, who plans on turning him into a meal. But Jack rescued Speedy as Nala knocked Quint silly. Later, the tank engine took Jack, Speedy, Nala, and Zira back to England. As Jack performs "That's What Friends Are For," a lion cub named Kopa escaped from an orphanage. Episode 3, Enter Kopa. Autumn arrives in the Enchanted Forest. One day, the lion cub Kopa was searching for a new place to live. Later, Kopa finds Nala and follows her to Pride Rock. Once there, Queen Nala realized that Kopa is an orphan, and she adopted him. The months passed. In the mountains, Nala and Zira took Kopa on a trip to an old palace. As the lionesses went on, Kopa was caught by Quint. But then, Jack the Fox came to Kopa's rescue. After Jack shoos Quint a wolf, Zira took Kopa back to Pride Rock. Later that night, Kopa argues with Nala, but when she growls at him, Kopa hides from her. After Nala calms down, she finds a sad Kopa and hugs the little lion. The next day, Pride Rock is for sale. Nala, Zira, and Kopa performed "We Are One" as they moved to a treehouse in the forest. Episode 4, The Boulder. Deep in the forest, high on a mountain, was a mysterious boulder. One day, 3 tank engines named Toby, Gordon, and Rusty are curious about the boulder. Not far away, Zira moved in with Nala and Kopa at the treehouse. They became roommates. The next day, the 3 lions met Sam I Am and Guy Am I, who both performed "I Am No Brony." Suddenly, the boulder dropped from the mountain and chased the tank engines. Jack the Fox was trapped, but then Kopa, Nala, and Zira rescued the fox. After the boulder crashed, a man called Sir Topham Hatt and his crew moved it to a hill. Elsewhere, a large creature appeared. It was a dragon named Bowser. He plots to rule the Enchanted Forest. Later that night, Nala, Zira, and Kopa watched as Zazu, Iago, and the forest animals danced to reflections of Earth. Kopa was glad he got his aunt Zira and adopted mother Nala. Episode 5, The Con Artist. One day, Jack the Fox gets a job in London town. He and Kermit the Frog met Fozzie Bear as they became television producers. The next day, in the Enchanted Forest, Jack rescues Kopa and battles Bowser. After Bowser was defeated, he vanished into magic dust. Later, Nala, Zira, and Kopa went to visit an office in London, where Jack tries to sell a sitcom to a television producer named Martin Price, but he is revealed to be a con artist named Murray Plotsky. After a pair of police officers came to Jack's defense, Murray threatens Nala, but Zira rescued her and fought Murray. Soon, Murray was dragged away by the police, never to be seen again. Zira ran back to Nala, who has an injured leg and was in tears. Later that night, in the Enchanted Forest, Nala, with her leg in a cast, performed Go the Distance, as Jack took her and the lions home.